Losing my dad made me realise that health is more about what's going on inside rather than how you look on the outside. Everyone wants to look good, but if you're not feeling good, then what's the point? There's so many more things to gut health than people think. Your mood, your mental fatigue, your clarity when it comes to working, things like that are all affected by your gut. So I went from being a sort of gym bro and just chasing aesthetics to understanding that the gut is at the core of everything for your long-term results. It's all about consistency. So don't have that all or nothing mindset that some people do have when they first start out. You don't need to dirty bulk. I did it. I used to eat things like cakes, pizzas, just to get my calories in, but I felt horrendous for that.
What's the biggest mistake people make on their gut health journey? How did you get into what you did?
To be honest, I think everything happens for a reason, and I kind of fell into this. So I think life throws things at you, and you can either deal with them or you can go off on another spectrum. So for me, health was something that fell into my lap. Losing my dad made me realise that health is more about what's going on inside rather than how you look on the outside. Don't get me wrong, everyone wants to look good, but if you're not feeling good, then what's the point? So when I got into this, it was more to change people's lives for the long term, not just for a quick fix. And that's what a lot of the fitness industry is about now. But I'm here to do this, and I'm here at Core Fitness, and we're trying to change people's lives in the long run. So I guess it kind of fell into my lap, to be honest.
What's the biggest mistake people make on their gut health journey?
A lot of people treat gut health like a quick fix or a juice cleanse, but it's more of a system reset that you need. You need to understand that your gut is not just something you can fix with a probiotic or a quick juice cleanse, a detox. Gut health is a lot, there's a lot more to it. So people need to understand that, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little bit of a while. You're going to have to do the basics well. Things like people don't think about, just drinking more water, getting a walk in after your meals. People think that you can just fix it overnight by just buying a supplement that is out there. But there's more to gut health than that, and you need to focus on a lot more from the start and understand where you're going wrong on the inside.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned about gut health?
When it comes to gut health, your body isn't fighting you, it's trying to protect you. So gut health, a lot of people think it's just about, bloating or, your belly's a bit larger because you've had a big meal. There's a lot more to it when it comes to gut health. Things like stress, things like sleep, all these things have a big impact. It's not just about the foods that you eat. So I'd say that when you're thinking about gut health, don't just think it's about, you've had some form of ultra-processed food and that's what's causing the bloating. There's a lot more to it on this journey, and a lot of things impact it. Your work stress. Are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough water? There's so many more things to gut health than people think, and it's not just about digestion. It's about your mood, your mental fatigue, your clarity when it comes to working. Things like that are all affected by your gut, but people don't understand that that is what is at the core of absolutely everything.
Why do you teach gut-first fitness as a coach?
Well, I realised that you can't build the body that you want for the long term when it's in panic mode. So you need to be able to reset your body, reset your system so that you can actually achieve the results that you want. Because when your body's in a high stress state, you're not going to be able to recover properly. You're not going to be able to build muscle. You're not going to be able to absorb all this protein that you're eating. So I went from being a sort of gym bro and just chasing aesthetics to understanding that the gut is at the core of everything for your long-term results. And by long-term results, yes, of course, we want to get you into the best shape of your life. But at the same time, we want you to feel good and have the energy, have the confidence to do absolutely everything that you can in your life. So why we teach gut-first fitness at Core Fitness is because to be able to build that dream body that you want, it starts from the inside and then it will show on the outside.
What mindset shift do people need to actually change their body look?
When it comes to mindset with fitness and health, it's all about consistency. So don't have that all or nothing mindset that some people do have when they first start out. Of course, you can work on that. But if you have a bad day, a bad meal, miss a training session, don't let that impact your whole journey or your whole week. It's just one bad moment and you can get back on track. And that's what it is with fitness and health. It's just about getting back on track as soon as you can. If you're at a wedding, if you're at a birthday party, if you're on holiday, that one day or 1 week is not going to derail your whole progress of months of work that you've put in. So just get back on track as soon as you can and be consistent with it.
What's a smarter approach to nutrition than just tracking your calories?
Tracking macros is useful, but tracking how you feel is a lot more useful. And what I mean by that is yes, if you're on a fat loss journey or you want to bulk up, you will need to be in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus. But at the same time, if you're in a calorie deficit and you feel horrendous, you feel tired, you're getting loads of mood swings, you're probably not eating the right types of foods. So put yourself in a calorie deficit if you want to lose fat, yes, but make sure that your diet consists of mainly whole foods. Make sure you're prioritizing things like protein and fiber so that you do feel satiated. And make sure that you're, drinking water as well to keep hydrated if you're not eating as much as you should do. And when it comes to a calorie surplus, the same things apply. You don't need to dirty bulk. I did it. I used to eat things like cakes, pizzas, just to get my calories in, but I felt horrendous for that. So make sure, what I'm trying to say is, yes, tracking macros is useful to understand what is in your foods and how much protein, how much fiber, how many carbs, all that good stuff. But also tracking how you feel by the foods that you're eating is as important as the amount that you're eating.
What do you wish more people knew when it came to long-term results?
When it comes to long-term results, you don't earn longevity by doing more. You earn a long-lasting lifestyle by doing stuff that works with your body. So what I mean by that is not overtraining. You don't need to train 5 to 6 times a week to failure every single session. You need to make sure that you're controlling things like stress and managing stress better, whether it's meditation, whether it's breath work, whatever works for you. You don't need to sit there cross-legged and do meditation for 10 hours. You can read a book if that works for you. You need to do the basics right and build on a foundation. If you've got the foundation, like a house, if it's built on the right foundations, you're going to be able to progress in the long term. If you're building on something that is not going to work for you in the long term, a structure around your life, then how can you expect to have these long-term results?
What types of food supports the gut health best?
Okay, when it comes to gut-friendly foods, it's less about trends and more about what your body actually likes and absorbs well. So when I work with clients, there are 3 types of foods that you can start with for your gut health. So the first is prebiotics. So these are the foods that actually fuel the good bacteria that comes from things like probiotics. So things like onions, garlics, leeks, all these good things will feed those good bacteria in your gut. Talking about the good bacteria, the second food is probiotics. So these are the live bacteria that are good for your gut, essentially. So things like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. These are going to be fed by those prebiotics, and these are going to provide the good bacteria that your gut microbiome absolutely loves. Mm-hmm. And then third, you've got things like polyphenols. So these have antioxidants in them, which are going to help your gut bacteria again. So things like green tea, even coffee has polyphenols. You might like the sound of this, but dark chocolate. All these foods are good antioxidants for your bacteria in your gut.
Why are so many people training hard and eating clean, but still feel bloated, inflamed, and stuck?
Your body is not broken, it's just overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So when your gut is in a position where it's inflamed, it's probably because you think you're eating clean, so you're having things like chicken, rice and broccoli, but there's no variety there, or you're having foods that look good for you but potentially are harming your gut. You're often overtraining, so you're doing way too much. I was training 5-6 times a week, and this was just putting my body into a high stress state. When your body is in a high stress state and your gut is inflamed, you're not able to absorb those nutrients that you're potentially eating that you think are clean. And finally, it's about things like sleep and stress. Such minor things that people don't really focus on. When you're not sleeping enough, when you're in a very high stress state, again, your body can't make those changes that it wants to make because it's holding on to things like body fat. It's high cortisol. And then as a result, you're not going to get those changes even if you're doing absolutely everything right or you think you are.
If someone feels stuck, puffy and tired, what's the first step they should take?
So first and foremost, look at the food you're eating. Are you eating predominantly whole foods or is your diet made up of a lot of ultra-processed stuff? Then look at your training. Are you overtraining? Are you doing too much? Are you in the gym 6 times a week, pushing to failure every single time? Are you actually letting your body recover? And then also the types of foods that you're eating. Make sure that you are eating fermented foods, fiber. A lot of people will, only focus on protein and they won't think about what actually is going to feed their good bacteria, fermented foods, fiber, things like that actually support your gut microbiome. So if you're feeling inflamed, puffy, then there's obviously something wrong in the inside that you need to look into a bit more. And that's what we do at Core Fitness.